what caused basically one of the biggest controversies in tricking at the end of last year. Which was...
First of all, that's copyright infringement.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Today's guest is the owner of Adrenaline Worldwide. Please welcome to the JAMCast, Mr. Maguire Kane. Yo, what's up, Maguire?
Hey, Travis. How's it going, man? Thanks for having me.
Yo, man. Thanks for coming down. Maguire, for those of you that don't know, doesn't actually live in Southern California, so we made a special trip down here to make a visit to some family and friends and also knock out a JAMCast. So thanks, man.
Of course, man. Of course. I'm happy to be here.
Totally. Now, I know he's playing it super cool in his Adrenaline jacket right now, which I need to get one myself.
Hey,
but
done deal.
What are you hiding underneath that jacket?
I'm just repping. Oh! I'm just repping. You know, I'm just repping. Let's go. Got it.
All right. Well, I have to give him props for that, but
you know.
I wouldn't be a true friend if I didn't bust his balls also. So, what are you hiding under your right arm? Oh, the shame comes out.
The shame comes out. For those of you who know, I'm pretty injury prone nowadays, shocking or not, but not from tricking, believe it or not. I was playing basketball at 24 with my brother. We're playing some pickup game, and then some guy just fell on me when I dove for the ball.
No way.
Guess he thought it was the NBA Finals. I don't know.
So are you like in a full wrist brace right now?
Or? Yeah, I took it off right now, so... Didn't want everyone to think I'm injured. But
so awesome. But yeah, so if you guys are out there, you're like, damn, Maguire must be a model. He sits like a statue. No, it's just because his wrist is hurt right now.
Yeah, I got that pull tendon.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, I mean, just so you know, if it becomes something that's a long-standing injury, hit up Kyle Cordova. We had him on a previous episode talk about his wrist brace.
He's been having the wrist brace for a long time.
At least that's not your touchdown raise arm, right? So
no, left hand.
Can you imagine that? He used to touchdown raise and scoot on his fist the whole time. It's so crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Yeah, it's super crazy, man. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, man. I'm glad to hear it's not a serious injury.
Yeah.
But
hopefully it's just a few weeks.
Did they say it's a sprain or anything?
Pull tendon from my middle finger going up to my forearm, that tendon right there.
Okay.
And they want me to check to see if I tore it, but I don't think I did.
Okay.
Meaning I hope I didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't usually go my way, but we'll see.
I mean, you and I have had our fair share of injuries. I know you just had like a major one that you recovered from last year that had to deal with your hip.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you deal with last year?
Yeah. So actually, I was literally just coming off my ACL tear. And... I injured myself at Compete Nationals. The mats weren't properly put together. Classic karate tournaments. But, I slipped, and then I was only tricking for like 3 months. My knee, like right now, my knee feels 100%.
Okay.
Like, don't even feel a difference. And then, I was just tricking one day. I did wrap full hyper, and I felt a pop, and I was like, man, this is not right.
Yeah.
Couldn't walk well. And then I kind of put it off because my doctor said I partially torn it, but it'll be itself in a few months. Like, just give it some time.
The good old give it some time.
Give it some time. And, I was waiting, and then we had the adrenaline in the summer, and then I went to China, and I felt great there because it's super humid.
You were warm.
I was warm, feeling good. Came home. I did B-twist snapu, which, I was super close to, super mad I didn't land it. But, I did it, and I felt my hip just shred. And, I had a hip impingement, so I had a labrum surgery on my left side.
Okay.
So it was a long recovery. I'm still kind of recovering from it. Like, it's not that 100% feeling like the ACL, but they told me it's 2 years until I feel like nothing's new.
2 years? How long ago did it happen since your surgery?
I had surgery January 8th. So
this year?
Or last year.
Holy
so it's been a
crap.
Full year now, 2 months now. So.
Yeah. No, I mean, so for those of you out there that are listening that don't know, shoulders and hips are some of the hardest injuries to recover from because they're not built like the knee. So the knee goes this direction, right?
Yeah.
But the ball and socket joints,
everywhere.
they go 360 degrees. So similar to Maguire, I tore my labrum 2 years ago.
I remember we were talking about this.
Funny enough, I tore mine January 3rd of 2 years ago, and I had surgery.
Word.
And the labrum, for those of you out there listening, the labrum acts as, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's basically the cartilage that acts as a protective layer between the bones so that things don't rub on each other. And so the labrum in your shoulder protects the bones on bones and in the hip as well.
Exactly. It's like the meniscus for your hip and everything. And mine, when they showed me a picture, it was all shredded up in there. And I'm like, oh man, let's fix this thing. So
and that's what's scary though, especially with the hip. The hip is not only one of the biggest bones and joints in your body, but it's also at like the center of your body, you know? So it has like a huge effect on it. Like if you didn't get that fixed, you wouldn't be able to walk.
No, it got to the point, I was actually at Hooked the year in December, because crazy or not, the surgery took like 3 months to even get, because it's like it was like a new surgery I was doing for it, so it was more advanced. They only did it like once every 3 weeks. Damn, it was super crazy like that.
That sounds like some rich white people stuff. He didn't say no though, he just laughed. So maybe it is.
Thank God. But so I waited, and I was at Amsterdam, and me and my brother were there, first time in Amsterdam, great city.
Totally, one of my favorites.
One of my favorites too, for sure. And I couldn't walk. I had to go back to the hotel room. I was like, yo, Jimmy, I gotta go back and chill. Like I could, like after walking a little bit, you just start feeling that grinding just on your hip and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. So
it's crazy. Yeah. I my shoulder took forever. I also had a full meniscectomy, so I had my meniscus taken out. I have no meniscus in my swing through leg, so that's why
oh my God.
Not only am I old, that's why I don't do swing throughs, but I also have no meniscus in my knee.
Yeah, so it's a lot
it hurts.
harder to land on it and everything.
As soon as I just step, I just feel bone on bone. It's insane. So kids, take our advice, protect yourself, do your rehab, and most importantly, if you have an injury, go see doctors. There's nothing wrong with going out and seeking professional medical help. You'll drive yourself insane if you're on WebMD or on Google. You'll literally drive yourself insane trying to figure out what's wrong with yourself. So
yeah, I think the best thing I could say too is just physical therapy. The amount of trickers I've seen that re-tear their ACL, re-tear their knee, and obviously it's gonna happen.
Yeah, of course.
It's gonna happen. Like you can't always get lucky, but I guess like my main thing is I really waited that even with my ACL the full year before I even started playing with tricks.
Totally.
Just PT, and I'm happy with it. And
Yeah.
it's better to do that than 6 months. Oh, you gotta do it again, and then again. And just have it a reoccurring problem.
100%, man. Just a Cliff Note version for everyone out there to just add to his point. My first knee, I tore it. I didn't go to the doctor for 8 months like an idiot. Irreparable. They had to remove my meniscus. Yeah. I also didn't rehab right. As soon as I had the surgery, I was flipping 2 weeks after.
Wow.
My leg to this day, my hamstring is shrunk to the point that I can't bend it past this. That's all I can do. This one bends. This one doesn't bend because my muscle shrunk.
Yeah.
I tore this knee 2 years later, went to the doctor right away, had the surgery, did the full rehab in 6 weeks. 100% fine. 100% fine. So just follow your doctor's advice. Go to PT. Go to therapy. And do the therapy on your own, man. Yeah. So
exactly.
So man, well, obviously injuries are a huge part of our lives, and you kind of touched on it that you heard it tricking. So for those of you out there, Maguire is part of and one of the owners of Adrenaline Worldwide, which is one of the biggest fixtures in the martial arts tricking community at the current time. But before that started, like, what's your martial arts journey like? Like, how did you get into it? I know you come from similar background, like our parents own martial arts schools, right?
Similar background.
When did you start?
Well, my parents, like at the karate school, it's like you have to be 5 to start.
Okay.
I was like 3, I'm over there like the smallest kid in class. I actually remember my dad would come home because I wasn't even in like kindergarten yet, so I was still like in like the daycare kind of stuff.
Totally.
I remember my dad would come home with like bags. I'd be doing side kicks and front kicks and stuff, teaching me.
Sick.
I grew up more of in a mixed martial arts background, so we never really did the traditional forms or anything like that.
Oh,
a lot of fighting actually.
No
so, like,
way.
Me and my brother wrestled for like 6 years. He actually wrestled in high school, but a lot of fighting, a lot of mixed martial arts, self-defense, and it was actually Loop Kicks camp was the first time we got introduced to tricking. My brother and my mom, OG Mama Kane, was a tricker.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But,
what Loop Kicks? Do you remember what year it was?
They went to 2007, and I think my first was 2008. The
biggest
year,
battle.
The biggest battle where it was Matt Emig, Jeremy Anise, and shout out to Jeremy and Anise being my first 2 tricking coaches.
Yeah, I did know that actually.
I remember Anise actually teaching me how to gainer, and I remember it was crazy. I remember like the first one I did, I just ate it on the floor. Like I totally ate it on my face. I was like, and I'm young. I think I'm like 2008, so I'd be like 8, 9, or 10.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I remember like my mom and dad, I was like looked at them, I'm like, Mom, I fell. and then Anise is like, again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
again,
let's do this.
Totally.
And I remember I landed it, and I was like, those guys were just huge inspiration still to this day, like with everything they do. But I started doing that, and then I started to get more into the XMA style. we started with some local tournaments and then started going into NASCA.
Okay.
And I think I had a good approach with it because my parents, they didn't just throw me into NASCA. I feel like some kids like, hey, go do NASCA.
Yeah.
And it's like you do like 2 or 3 years of like, just making your way to that level.
Yeah.
It was kind of like I did 3 to 5 tournaments for a year or two. And I was kind of feeling myself out, like, where am I? And then it was at Diamonds one year. I remember I was getting like seconds and tying for first. I tied for first in one division.
Okay.
My parents like, yeah, he's ready to go. I started doing NASCA. I did NASCA for 2.5 years. I tore my 3rd year, my knee.
Okay.
But, I did NASCA. I won my titles there. I went overseas, did the WKA tournaments, won gold medals doing that. I was really into it. I made ISKA. That was probably one of my top moments and everything. I made it for forms, and that's kind of like my main background in the martial arts scene. And then with tricking, I mean, with XMA, obviously you got to be good at tricking.
Yeah. So I have a question. I mean, I've always associated your family with owning a martial arts studio and running like XMA type camps. But you told me that you started as an MMA type. So how did the family move over? You said you obviously saw loop kicks, but then did you guys start to train with certain coaches to start integrating forms, or how did you implement that into your system?
Yeah. So essentially, like, we always had like forms, I guess you would say, but never like real XMA style
like competition forms.
Yeah, competition, like something you wouldn't go out with. And as we got older, I trained with Caitlin Deschelle. She was like my main instructor for some time, so shout out to Caitlin.
Okay. Shout out to Caitlin. She trains at a jam now too. So.
Yeah. So she was like my main instructor, and same with Jimmy. And
okay, cool.
We just got into it more, and I actually started creating a lot of the program for XMA itself with my parents. So like I would make like a bow form, and it's like an extreme bow form with like releases and everything. I started making forms and everything, and we kind of got to that level where that's kind of where adrenaline kind of started. Was we had this kind of whole XMA program that we started running with the tricking, the forms and everything. And then it kind of just transitioned into like, we want to make it bigger in our school. Our students liked it a lot. Like, let's run a big camp with it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it all started. But in terms of the program, a lot of it was actually like created by me and my brother.
Cool.
Or my brother and I, sorry.
That's crazy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And how old is your brother? How much older is he?
He's 22 right now. So he's senior in college. He's at Chapman University.
Okay.
Got to graduate with a creative producer major. So
nice.
Pretty big.
Yeah. And that's been helpful, I know, with the stuff that you guys going on that we'll delve into in a second. So 100%. That's really cool. All right. So how many years have you been tricking per se, or when did you start tricking?
I've been tricking since 2009, so I've been around the scene. I've been watching tricking forever.
Yeah, totally.
But in terms of like, I would say I got really serious into tricking when I was about 15.
Okay.
My body started to adjust and everything. I started to get a little taller, a little stronger and everything.
Yeah.
And I really started getting deep into tricking until actually like my ACL. I was like more into tricking than I was even with NASCA. Like that last year, I was kind of... I kind of made a pact with my parents, like when I'm 18, I don't want to continue to do NASCA. I kind of want to be done with it because I think it's a great thing, but I think everyone kind of like almost like passes through it.
100%. I mean? Yeah. I mean, the tough thing about the martial arts circuit in general is that you can win all the world titles in the world, but that doesn't do anything for your career. All it can guarantee is that you can write that down on your resume that you've won world titles.
Exactly. That's all. Yeah. And it's like, my thing is like, I walk around, I don't say how many I won. I just say like, I'm a multi-time, because, once you start saying, I have like 50 world titles, people are like,
how's that possible?
Yeah. Like, how's this possible? Like, how are you doing this? And everything like that. So, I would actually, me and my dad have talked about this a lot. I think my ACL was a blessing in disguise because it kind of let me transition my focus into my career and everything, which, as you know, I kind of work on my acting and everything, but right now the main focus is on adrenaline. And I think that's when adrenaline really started to skyrocket. Was I was able to put more time in it, and then that allowed kind of everyone part of adrenaline to put more time into it, because again, for those of you that don't know, it's not just myself running it and everything. It's myself, it's Jimmy, it's my parents are a huge contribute to it, and as well as we have a whole team and everything part of it. So
yeah, totally. I mean, it takes a village to do anything. They say it takes a
You
village
know
to raise
that.
a child, but no, it takes a village to like run a business. It takes a village to make a movie, to make a show.
Exactly.
I know more than anything. Yeah. So no, it's really cool, man. That's a really unique story. And to be fair, like I've known you all these years, but I didn't know that you guys started as an MMA background.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, my dad, that was his main background, was fighting.
Crazy.
Kickboxer and everything.
Totally.
So it grew up in the blood. So
And you've always had a very supportive family, and something
100%.
that something that I think contributes to the success you have now.
Yeah.
And it's also something that, we should all, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people just don't always have that. So like, you should be really proud of it. I remember we'd always have jam gatherings, and Maguire would always be driven down by his mom. And his mom would always take the time to like send me a message ahead of time and see like, hey, is there an opportunity for Maguire to train with so-and-so? Or I distinctly remember when I ran Trickstar season 1,
we were there.
You guys reached out to me, and you asked if you could show up to the taping.
Yeah, I remember that.
And for those of you out there that don't know, Trickstar is a series from, how old is Trickstar? Maybe 4 or 5 years ago? Paul, can you pull up Trickstar and just on Flow Channel and just see when it came out? But long story short, Trickstar was a project I did like 4 or 5 years ago, back for a YouTube channel called Flow, along with my buddy named Sam Parham, who we've had on the podcast. And so it was 2014. So basically what I wanted to do was they gave us some money to create content. And what I decided to do was like, let's just do a one-off battle tournament, 16 guys whittled down to 1.
Yeah.
And at the time I was actually on Fast and Furious 7, which was crazy because I literally was planning this while we were making it. And when we actually filmed episode 1, I flew home Friday night when I wrapped set. We shot Saturday, Sunday, got back on a plane, flew home Sunday, was on set Monday.
I remember this story. I remember you telling us, and it's crazy that like, Trickstar and everything, like we talk about it all the time. That was like almost like our like motivator, you know what I mean?
Crazy, yeah.
Like when we saw Trickstar and everything, I was like I remember watching in the like audience, and I remember I was like, whoa, like, because you had everyone there.
I had a lot of guys there. At the time, that was one of the most, densely packed, I guess, competitions.
I think so. I think it was like you got Michael, you got.
Yeah, we had Guthrie, we had Bailey. We had
Bailey,
everybody.
Andy Lee
Will Coney's.
Matt Emick. Everybody was there. And I just remember like, whoa, like this was the most crazy thing. Crazy. All these guys I'm watching on YouTube, I'm now like seeing in person. I'm like, whoa. I just remember that feeling and everything.
But I remember your mom distinctly sent me a message, and like everyone wanted to be there and watch and stuff. But she sent me like a really cordial message just saying like, we understand it's secretive. We understand we can't release the results. Maguire just wants to be there. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to deny someone the opportunity to like be a part of this cool event that may never happen again,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And it was cool, like if you watch it in the episodes, you can't see that there's an audience there. It's blacked out, but there were some people sitting on the side, and Maguire was one of them. And this is
back from the day.
5 years ago.
Lotus, we were at the White Lotus closing gathering. I remember that. And
totally.
I'll tell you, like, with my parents and everything, I know you touched on it, and 100% everything that I've, I guess, accomplished at my age and everything.
Yeah.
Just like you, 100% goes back to how my parents like have helped me through everything. Like whenever it's something I need help with, they're the people I go to. You know? They've helped so much, like especially like starting Adrenaline at a younger age. They really helped us like with the business side of it.
Oh yeah,
and just making connections and everything. Because I know it's crazy. Like now I'm the one sitting here and everything talking with you.
You're
but,
the
like,
face of it now.
Yeah, but like you were saying though, like I remember even like 2015 stuff. My parents were more talking with you, and now more so it's like I'm
now
taking
you call
that
me.
part over and everything. Yeah. So it's crazy, but 100% they've helped me through everything, and they're the ones that have really, I guess, given me like, all of the life skills and life values of like being able to like run a business with them and everything. And I think it's honestly like one of the coolest things to be able to say like, oh yeah, like we run this business and like, oh yeah, my whole family like works.
They're all part of it, right?
Yeah, we're all like working on this together and everything. So it's really cool.
My mom used to have a license plate growing up that said a family that kicks together sticks together.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's pretty corny, but that's cool. It makes sense, especially in families like this. But yeah, I remember, man, after Trickstar did its thing, it got a decent amount of leverage, but I was at a point in my career where I was so busy, I kind of had to remove myself from tricking. I stopped having gatherings. If you guys have noticed, we haven't had a jam gathering in about 4 or 5 years. And it's not for lack of love for the community. It's just a time commitment thing. I'm focusing on my career in the movie and entertainment industry. So with that being said, there was always something in the back of my head that was like, I really hope somebody will just take on trying to do what I did with Trickstar. Like I was praying this whole time that deep down inside someone would basically take it over in the sense that it would continue to run for the community, because I knew that I had no time to do it. And so welcome Adrenaline. So how old is Adrenaline? When did it start? And what can people what does the average listener that's never been to the website need to know about it?
Yeah, so Adrenaline, it started back in 2014 was the first time we ran the camp and everything.
Okay.
pretty crazy because, again, we kind of decided like, yo, let's run this camp. We had Matt Emig there, Micah Carnes, Mackenzie Emery was there. We had, who else? We had a bunch of guys like Kite came in and everything.
Yeah. Okay.
And I remember you weren't able to make it that year, and I know you came every year after that.
Yeah, after that, exactly.
But I just remember we ran it, and we ran an event. Like, we ran like a night show because we're like, oh, we have like all these people here. We should run this like fun event with it. And they liked it because there's money for prize money.
Yeah,
and at the time, and even like, I think today there's more, but there weren't that many events that were giving prize money for battling.
No one was giving prize money.
Yeah,
that's why everyone did Trickstar, was because not only did I give prize money, but I paid everyone to battle.
Exactly.
I paid them like it was a job. I was like, if you're going to fly here and battle, you could get hurt, so I'm going to pay you.
Exactly. So, and that's a big thing from what you've done with Trickstar that we've even taken over with Adrenaline is like win or lose matches, we're paying everybody.
Awesome.
Especially the top guys and everything, because like I agree with you 100%. Like you may come here and get injured.
Totally.
And even like losing, as long as you're putting on a show, like you're still putting that time in for training and everything.
Yeah.
But it kind of transitioned from that camp into a gathering vibe in 2015. Cool. And we liked it, but I guess the main thing for like us as a whole, we decided we don't want to run the gathering because there's so many gatherings.
There's a lot of gatherings, yeah.
We wanted to be different, and like you said, we literally were thinking of Trickstar. We're like, man, like that's like what we want to do. Like we want to
focus on battles and stuff.
Like we like watching the events because we have when we did the night shows and everything back in the earlier days, we had a lot of people come in that weren't trickers.
Yeah, just totally.
Family members.
Just people off the street.
My parents would go to a restaurant and talk to the waiter and then give them some tickets or something,
Come through on Friday night.
Yeah, exactly. And the crazy thing is they love it. Okay. They're like, this is an insane sport. Totally. They get hooked on it. And, we kind of said, okay, let's start transitioning. And it was in 2017. We had the whole 2018 to 2019 planned out of like, where do we want to see Adrenaline go? And that year of 2017 was kind of like, okay, if we can hit this year, we'll be ready. We'll be ready to take on kind of like Trickstar. We ran last year. We did like 5 events, kind of like that, where it was like the battles, head-to-head battles. We ran like 5 events where we'd fly a bunch of people in. But
hell yeah.
2017 was that test year where we're like, if we kill this year and we really think like we're ready to go, we'll be ready. We'll start like turning that into a real business, I guess, like not just like a one-time banger or anything. Like really turn into a serious business. And that's kind of where our website comes in right now. We're focusing right now on our website and also running events. And the big part about the website is it's a content platform. And a lot of people I know bring up, well, why not YouTube? I guess the big thing is, you can't really make money off YouTube as a tricker yet.
Not unless you're getting millions of views.
Yeah. You need to get millions of views, and you need to put out content all the time.
Totally.
I think really right now, the only person doing that is Kyle Skelly, and he's not even really getting million views consistently. It's more that he's consistently putting out content. He has a good subscriber base and everything.
Yeah, he's at like almost 200,000 or more subscribers. Yeah. So his videos can get up into that range. Yeah,
exactly. Totally. And, our idea was to make this platform really similar to how the UFC and every sports ran, where it's like you can go on, you can watch all of these battles, and now the platform, there's tutorials, there's highlight reels, there's kind of like a whole wide range of like videos that you can be watching on the site and everything. So, and what this platform does, it allows us to continue to run these events because it's all self-funded. Like Adrenaline's self-funded. We don't have some big company coming in, running what we're doing. And that's a big thing. Part of Adrenaline is we have had offers and we are able to maybe do that. But I guess looking at tricking as a whole and people that have maybe taken like a sponsorship or something, I feel almost their business gets taken away from them.
Yeah, it happens a lot of times.
It happens a lot of times. And those events aren't around anymore.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed. Those events aren't around anymore. And I think, you running Jam and everything and all of the gatherings, I think you like the feeling of like, what's best for trickers. Like you're a tricker, what's best for them. And you can kind of control that versus, okay, you want to do something, but you can't because they don't want you to, or they want to completely change the format of something.
Yeah, if you're bound by a sponsor, pretty much you have to please your sponsor.
Exactly. So that was like a big part of it. But essentially, this platform lets us put all of the money that we collect in on monthly subscriptions, clothing and everything, back into running these events, back into paying the athletes, and just everything.
And real quick, what's the website so people can go visit and check it out?
Yeah, it is adrenalineworldwide.com. Okay. So head to the website. You're going to see over 450 videos on the site currently between battles, tutorials, and samplers, and a whole lot more from there.
Awesome. Okay, cool. And what does a basic membership package start at?
Yeah, so a basic membership is $9.99 at the moment.
For the month?
For the month. Okay, yeah, so you get a whole month. There's videos going up weekly by our pro athletes, actually.
Nice.
So a lot of the pros, like, for example, Danny, he'll post a video on, like, and the nice part with Danny, he'll do something on chucks and he'll do something on tricking. Like, he mixes it around and everything. Mm-hmm. But I guess for those of you that don't know, adrenaline is not only just tricking. We do the extreme martial arts, and a big part of that, one, I grew up doing extreme martial arts. I like it. I really like the weapons battles. I think they're hype.
It's cool.
And I think between the 1v1 tricking, 2v2, the weapons, and the extreme breaking, it kind of is like almost like how X Games kind of started, you know? Like, opposed to just promoting one thing to people like tricking, trying to get just tricking everywhere. When you have like a wide variety for the like the public eye, you can they can get more drawn in, because when you watch tricking and you don't know what the tricks are, it's kind of gets a little repetitive if you watch it for like 3 hours straight, right? Totally, you're just watching tricking, you're like, okay, because you don't know the moves, you don't know what they're called, anything like that. But when you kind of mix it between that, the breaking, the 2v2, the weapon, it keeps them really excited and motivated with it.
Totally. Just draw people in and just let them have access to the whole platform. And can you only pay monthly? Is there like a yearly plan also, or is it right now monthly?
Right now monthly. We're always working on updating the site. We just had our new website drop back in November. So right now we're working on adding a new registration page where essentially, like, right now you can kind of pay a one-time fee for a live event, or you can have your monthly access, which you get that as well as everything else.
Totally.
And then we're going to add like 6-month year plan, and then we're going to be adding some new features to the site that will be coming, but I got to keep that on the hush right now.
Yeah, all good. No worries. I'll just ask you off camera.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, cool. So obviously people can go to the website, they can sign up online, like you kind of delved into. There's tutorials, there's backlog of stuff posted by other trickers on there, and then obviously the main thing that a lot of people have been tuning into are these battles that you're having, right? So can people pay just to watch a one-time live event?
Yes.
How much is that?
That we go for $19.99 for the one time, and the reason why is it's all live, and that's what we actually did for the first time. We ran our live event in July, and it went well, but this last event in January was by far the best event we've ran, I would say. And what's crazy is we had maybe a quarter of the people there, like, battling. It was like a 2-hour live event, just like a UFC kind of fight.
Yeah.
But I guess what really went well for us was we were able to sell. You're going against you. So supposedly, like when you're at a gathering, it's like, okay, this guy's got to maybe match up against this person.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, I remember the big thing was 2017. We really wanted to see the finals. Like, we were hoping on our end, like, okay, you'll see Pinto versus Johan. We were thinking like that rematch of Hooked. We put them on opposite sides of the bracket. And then Boyang just comes in from China,
totally.
Just walking in like,
oh, bro, I know, dude. I designed Trickstar so Michael Guthrie could be the winner.
Yeah.
And we all saw what happened.
Yeah, we all saw what happened.
One of the biggest controversies in tricking, and I'm going to have Andrew Franklin and Mike on an episode to break it down. But that's crazy. So I have a question. So you can pay $19.99 to watch like a pay-per-view live event, so to speak. Are you allowed to watch those live events if you're already a member of Adrenaline?
Yeah, you get it for free.
So you might as well sign up to the $9.99
exactly.
a month.
It's like a bonus. It's essentially like you get a bonus. Like, for being a member, you get this event for free and everything like that. So that's kind of how it's laid out on the site at the moment.
Yeah, from a cost perspective, you might as well just do the monthly membership and get all the perks of everything together.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really cool.
Especially with the new site, that's one thing that we're working on right now, is really pushing and marketing it. That's like a big focus, because a lot of people don't know what's on it. And we do have a lot of free videos on the site as well. So I think a lot of people, because we had an older site, and that was one thing going into Adrenaline that we didn't know, because I'm not a huge tech guy, neither is my brother. And
totally.
Obviously,
you're learning as you go. Right? You're learning as you go.
And we realized, we paid a lot of money to get this website done, and it did not look that good. Yeah. And I was like, man, like, we need to change this. So we had to wait a few months, let money come in, and then we put money towards this one guy, and he's like, I had a whole list of features I wanted on the site and everything, and then it was almost every week he was calling. He's like, yeah, I don't think I can do this one. I don't think I can do this one.
Dang.
So then we had to move on to the next person. Yeah. Finally, we found our person that, again, made an amazing website. Like, I think it just looks beautiful, like, just from like an outside perspective. You can just look at everything so well. But it took time, and that was one thing for us that we were learning definitely throughout the process of how to like get the proper website with all the functions we wanted. Like I didn't know any of that.
It's crazy hard, man. It's the reason why people choose to just put their stuff on platforms like YouTube and stuff, because they already have a built-in infrastructure.
Yeah,
it's like, give it to you. But what you're doing is you're trying to just nurture your own baby and grow it, which makes sense.
I'll be honest, like why give the money that we're profiting to YouTube that's not going to give it back to tricking? That's kind of our point of view, because I like to think what we're doing is helping, obviously, the community. And obviously, I think it shows, like, we're helping the community in tricking and everything like that. And I'd rather be able to put that money towards someone like Will Coney's, who's been tricking all of his life, be able to get him to events, pay for him and everything.
Totally.
Rather than, okay, we're going to run on YouTube, but because there's no money coming in on our end besides the little money from ads, we can't have high-quality cameras, lighting, and we can't pay any of you guys.
Totally.
So,
yeah, I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't take into account, is that you're trying to run an actual business right now.
Yeah.
It's a lot different than gatherings, because I think that's the one thing that a lot of the trickers associate as like the next level, I guess. Everyone just associates tricking with these gathering events that happen as a one-off weekend. People fly in, you train with guys you like, you battle if you want or not, and then you go home for the weekend. But that's it. It's literally like where it ends. And so like I know when you came onto the scene, you faced a lot of backlash, for lack of a better term. But I knew that was going to happen. So
yeah, you called it.
I knew it was going to happen. Yeah. And not from a perspective that you're doing something wrong. When something new happens in a community that's been so close-knit and underground, something that's always going to happen. When I opened White Lotus for the first time, I remember putting out a video being like, we have open gym 7 days a week and it's $5 to open gym. I thought trickers were going to be like, holy crap, this is the Mecca, right?
Yeah, it's $5
Dude,
too.
The first comments that I got were people saying, oh, you're a sellout. Like, oh my God, you're just trying to make money off trickers. And like I remember we even got into like debates with like towels. Like towels back in the day like sent me things that were like questioning what my intentions were behind it. And now I consider Towels to be like one of the guys that I like really value his opinion. Mm-hmm. Like he has a very strong opinion, but he has like he has an opinion that is deciphered from him analyzing and thinking things through, and he's been a part of the community for a while. So I faced hate, so I know what it's like, man. Yeah,
what was crazy was actually with Towels, he did the same thing to us, and I told him like, yo, come to the event. Like,
just come watch it, right?
You can stay at my house, you can chill. Totally. And ever since then, he's like, dude, I get it now. Like I get the vision that you're going with and everything. But I actually remember back in 2015 when that first really started to happen and everything, all of the hate we were getting. I remember it was you and Dan, and shout out to both of you guys. I mean, like,
shout out to Dan Perez.
Yeah, Dan Perez. Yeah. But I mean, you two in particular have really helped Adrenaline since the beginning with like, questions of like, hey, how's this? And I just remember when it all started leaning out, both of you guys contacted me and being like, hey, like this was going to happen.
It's going to happen. Yeah.
The best thing you can do is respond when you need to respond, but don't respond to people you can't reason with. And I still to this day do the same thing. If someone has a really valuable question or a concern or something and wants to reach out to me and talk about Adrenaline, I'm all ears. I do it with anybody. But when someone's got to go on and just makes, like negative posts and then they're like, now answer me.
Like you're like, why?
Like, hey, sorry, I actually gotta go to work and do and work on Adrenaline. I can't just sit here and text you all day and everything. So I just remember when you guys told us that, and literally to this day, because you know how it is, like you'll get something, you're like, man, I want to respond right now. I want to tell them how they're wrong. Of course, but it's like there's no reason to. It's just wasting time. And that's one thing that like to this day we still take in super valuable, because when you look at big companies like even LeBron James right now, not gonna make the playoffs. They're probably predicting not gonna make the playoffs. Predicting that. Yeah. But
I'm not a Lakers fan. I agree.
But he gets hated, like memes after memes right now going on right now. But he isn't going on and responding or doing his thing. He's just doing his thing. He's got to make his paycheck, and he's got to keep being the best basketball player out there, even though it's Steph Curry.
Yeah, I think all you can do at that point is just put your head down, and if you have really good intentions, continue to do what you're doing and achieve your goal, because all the success of what you're achieving, it'll be noticed by people. And at that point, they have the decision to either A, be along for the ride and support it since it's benefiting the community, or B, they choose to just stay away from it, and that's cool.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a part of it. You don't have to pay $9.99 a month. You don't have to do any of that, you know?
And that's like a big thing, you know, this isn't anything we're taking away from tricking, saying like, hey, if you're not part of Adrenaline, like if you're not paying for a subscription, you're no longer a tricker, you know?
Yeah.
I guess like our personal opinion with it is right now where we're trying to make that top level for the guys that want it, where it's like, you can be an NBA player in the NBA, or you can play basketball. Like I shoot around all the time and everything, but there's no rule that I can't play basketball. I can go play and that's the same thing with tricking. You can trick and you can be really good. There's people really good at basketball that aren't in the NBA. There's actually someone like last week that beat Steph Curry's like record or something of threes in a minute.
Yeah.
And I guess but we want to make that platform for the guys that want it, you know, like the Jacob Pintos, the Danny Atkins, the Johan, and then obviously for the next generation, Jose, like this kid should be making bank by the time he's 18.
It's crazy.
And that's, I guess, Adrenaline's goal. We want to be that platform for him. We want to be those people that when he's 18, tricking's his career. He just tricks, he does his thing, and that's it. You know, he doesn't have to go work a 9-to-5 job or anything, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, that's one thing I think a lot of people in our community aren't thinking about is the long term about what they're going to think about career-wise, you know? Because that's the thing is, if you're spending all these hours on the tricking forums, watching stuff on YouTube, you're training every single day to the point of exhaustion. That's all well and good, but if your end goal is literally so short-sighted, you're just thinking about, oh, I want to land triple cork, but you're not thinking about what you're going to do when you're 21 years old. You're going to have a huge disparity in your life between what you need and what you want to do. And I don't know, that's where people get lost.
Yeah, you know, tough. It kind of, I feel like you get to that point. I feel it's like, like when you start kind of hitting your 20s, the trickers, they kind of start getting to that point where it's like,
they get real jobs.
Yeah, it's like, okay, or even like a girlfriend or something, you know? Yeah. That's actually recently we signed, you know, you've probably seen our new pro athletes and everything, like Will Coney's, Alex D, all of those guys and everything. And the big thing for that is, we're providing work for them. That's the big thing. Like we're sending Will to all of these events where he's getting paid at, whether he's teaching, he's battling, he's just being there as Will Coney's, helping them with their gatherings and everything. Cause you know, like for example, like we're kind of those guys that help, like, okay, let's say Alexander Anderson's heading to this event. Maybe he wants, like, you know, you can go to as many events as you want, but you're still losing money.
Yeah,
essentially.
You're spending money going.
You're spending money going, even if they're sponsoring you for the most part. So we help, like, okay, can we get them a workshop and everything? And then obviously with the Adrenaline events and then their online channel, you know, that's like, I guess, the nicest part of how the website's set up, where Alexander Anderson, you know, he posted that video a while back, which drew a lot of controversy. But the big thing is, he was happy. He got paid really well. He actually told me this is the most he's ever been paid just a trick. He's like, I got paid to do a trick combo, and this whole sampler I edited, I got paid for my work, and I'm happy. And, you know, we want to be that platform for everybody, whether it's that, doing tutorials, or whatever it may be. We want to be that platform for these athletes and everything. So that's kind of the main focus right now.
Totally. Hey, Paul, can you pull up a clip in the first clip that's over there on yours? And you kind of just touched on it right now. I think it's in your mail. I'm pretty sure that you just touched on it right now. But yeah, that's one thing that I wanted to ask you about was basically the whole Alexander stuff. So basically this clip went online. This was the end of last year, and this is what caused basically one of the biggest controversies in tricking at the end of last year, which was
first of all, that's copyright infringement.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, we didn't clear that. Yeah, no. So basically, obviously, those of you that are watching on our live stream on YouTube, you'll get to see the video that's on there. But for those of you listening on Spotify and iTunes and SoundCloud, what we're watching right now is a video that's basically captioned quad court combo by Alexander Anderson from Norway, and halfway through, before he finishes the combo, it blacks out and it says quad court combo, watch now only on Adrenaline TV. When I saw this, I was like, oh, that's cool. It's like a teaser and a pitch, but this literally caused probably the most controversy in tricking in the last few years, because people were like, why is a trick being hidden behind a paywall? And so that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was how can people go on there and watch it? You know, like, would people just be a monthly member and they get to see clips like that all the time? And B, you kind of already talked about it, which is, why would Alexander choose to do that? But like you said, he actually got paid for that clip.
Yeah. So. You know, going into it, I like the copyright infringement.
Yeah, that was
funny
funny.
because people go off on it, but it's like, hey, this is a real business. You're taking a clip away, and the guy that I sent that email to, it was all fun and jokes until he actually got the email, because on our end it's a business. Like we can't
totally.
What happens when the next clip goes on? Is someone going to take that off as well? So. But, going into this and everything, one thing that we learned, and again, a lot of this is trial, we're kind of stepping into new water.
Totally. It's
a lot of this stuff is new water for tricking, and we're learning as we go as well. And that's one thing we even said, like, patience can be key, because we 100% understand some people were really unhappy.
Yeah.
And one big thing that I know on our end that we truly messed up was, a lot of people got the message that you're literally paying $10 to watch a clip.
Yeah,
and I was like, no, that's not it. But I realized, because on my perspective, I thought everyone knows we got a new website. There's 400 videos.
Yeah.
And what we, understand is, no, they don't. A lot of people don't know exactly what's on the site and what you're getting. And this is one of the videos that falls under there. So that was one thing on our end, marketing wise, that we did not well, and we understand that, and we've been working on everything else we've been posting and everything. It's a lot different now, because we realize we got to keep reminding people how much awesome content is actually going on the site.
I mean, he literally, his caption could have said like, watch this and 400 more clips.
Exactly.
He probably would have been in the clear.
Exactly. But one thing with Alexander himself, him and me were talking about this, and I agree with him 100%. And I know some people are like, oh, Adrenaline shouldn't have allowed him to do this, but it's his clip.
It's up to him, man.
It's not my clip.
Totally.
I will never tell one of our pros. I mean, Shows an Adrenaline pro, and
he puts everything out on Instagram for free.
Everything out on free on Instagram. And, for all I know, like, if he wanted to, he could have told me, hey, I want to post this on free because the athletes also are able to post free content on the site.
Yeah.
But Alexander's like, hey, this video is insane. I want to gain subscriptions. I want to gain money from this. And it's a whole video. Like, it's a whole, like, I think it's a minute and 30-second video on the site.
Totally.
And, we supported him the whole way. He made really good money for it. And one thing I agree with him 100% on, he's at the point where he's one of the few trickers I feel right now that tricking is his career. Where he's actually making money just tricking. He doesn't have to work another job. He's not in school. He's just tricking. And, he's also sponsored by Under Armour at the moment and everything.
I know he just won a scholarship in his hometown.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He won our online competition, Trickmaster. Him and his friend put together one of the most, like, insane samplers.
Yeah,
and he won like $1,000 for it. So he's doing a really good job with it. And he was kind of like, well, opposed to just telling me, having a bunch of people tell me how good my tricks are, like, oh my God, this is awesome, and getting some likes on Instagram or something. He's like, I want to make money. Like, this is why I have this platform on Adrenaline. I'm going to do it. And we're like, okay, let's do it. And obviously, people aren't going to be happy because they have to pay. Like, it's just most people aren't happy that they have to pay $100 to watch Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor.
Totally, but I do it.
Yeah, I do it too.
Totally.
Honestly, if you told me it was $500, I would be like, yo, who wants to come over? Let's watch this thing.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
It's something you want, and that's, I think, a big part of it. This was a clip a lot of people really wanted to see. And what's crazy or not, Alexander and I we're literally going to post that clip itself, like the raw clip.
Yeah.
The week after, because we're thinking, let's draw all these people to the site using this promo code, getting the views on it, and then we're just gonna post the clip as
show.
is.
Hey, here it is. Yeah.
Yeah, like here's my clip last week of me landing quad cord.
Yeah.
And people never really let us get to that point and everything, but yeah, I mean, on our end with Alexander and everything, we were happy. We gained people to the site and everything. I get it. There's obviously things we need to work on, like I said, promoting and everything.
Yeah.
But he was happy. He made money, and
Totally.
once you get to that age, like, and that's, again, I bring up Jose, but also, Aiden Kennedy and everything. I know he wants to go into more of the stunts, but money is important in life. Like, you need money. Like, you can't just trick and go to the gym and expect one day some sponsor's going to come in and give you $1 million to keep doing it.
Yeah.
You got to grind, you got to hustle, and you got to know your worth. And that's what he's done,
Yeah, no, 100%. And that was one of the things that kind of threw me off, was that the community didn't really get mad at Alexander so much. And I was like, it was basically Alexander's choice to post that clip, like, it really was up to his own decision to do so. But my thinking was, guys, why is nobody questioning why he's posting this on there. If I was a tricker and I saw Alexander Anderson post a quad court clip that drove me to a paywall, my immediate thinking wouldn't be, screw this guy, he's charging me. My thinking would be, what is he getting on the back end that's worth it for him to do this, and how can I be involved in that?
Yeah.
That's what I would question. But obviously, like, there's maturity level differences within our community. We have people in our community, they're so young, they've never had a job in their life. So they're not worried about money right now.
Yeah, exactly. So. And I think a big thing is with the tricking community, again, we're kind of jumping into new water. And I know you had the same problem, or not even problem, but the same thing that happened with Trickstar and even other events and other things like you brought up White Lotus, was people have never seen this and they see kind of a change in the way things are. I feel sometimes they're almost feeling like, because of how everything's been for so long, everything should be the way it is and there shouldn't ever be a change. But
totally,
change is good sometimes. And again, we're not saying that, oh, if you don't watch this clip, you're not a tricker. Again, he was going to post it a week after on his Instagram.
Yeah.
This is more for Alexander as an athlete, and a big thing on his end, and I agree with him 100%, was you guys tell me how much you love me. You love me as a tricker. I'm your favorite tricker. But then you're going to go hate on me the second I want to make money at the sport I'm trying to make a career,
Yeah, totally.
He truly, and that's a big thing, me and Alexander are really tight homies and everything. We've become really close. He was with me in the hospital actually in Japan.
Crazy.
When I got injured there and everything. So, he really believes in like the mission, and he's had a really tough upbringing that I don't think a lot of people know about. And that's where I was like, only if you guys knew about his like background, like, his mom passed away at a really young age, and he went down the wrong route for some time, but tricking was his like almost like his drive. Like tricking was totally what was gonna make it, like, was almost that brought him back, you know what I mean? Kind of brought him back into reality and everything. And I think that's unbelievable. And for someone like him to actually want to make this a living, like, I'm 100% support for it. If it was someone else, like if Jose landed one of these combos, and if Jose would say he even had his own site, right? Yeah. I know he has his on Adrenaline, but all of these combos were going in there, I'd have a subscription because I know he's got to do something every week.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's crazy. It comes to this thing where it's like, how much do you really love it? How much do you want to be a part of it? And how much content's out there? Because it's like, I used to be someone back in the day that was like, dude, look at all these streaming things out there. I can't believe all these things. I now pay for UFC Fight Pass. I pay for DAZN. I pay for Netflix. I pay for Hulu. I pay for HBO.
Everything.
I pay for everything. And that's because we live in a generation where it's just all about content, It's just like, and you can watch content so mobile on your phone at any given time that like there inherently are going to be other things that exist outside of just Instagram and YouTube and stuff. So yeah.
And with the hate and everything, I guess because we know this stuff's going to happen as we grow. Again, like I brought up LeBron James and everything, but like for me, that's why I guess on my opinion, I was happy that like people weren't, I guess, directing Alexander as much as they were. It was a lot personal in me, which was kind of funny. I like some of the memes.
They're funny. There's some good ones out there. Yeah,
there's some good ones out there.
There were some good memes. I was dying. Yeah.
There's one actually, dude. It was like me and Connor. Connor was in it, in the background, and I was geeking out. I sent it to him like, dude, you made the cut.
That's when you made it though. When people are making fun of you and taking the time out of their day to Photoshop photos about you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, I made it.
But one thing I'll point out that's pretty crazy is some people are thinking like, oh, the whole community of tricking is hating on Adrenaline. They're done forever.
Yeah, it's not though.
And I'm like, okay, well, I went like literally the week after I went to the Neo Showdown that Matt Milhone, he does an incredible job out there in Ohio running Neo gatherings and everything. But, I went out there and there was not one person there that actually had an issue with what we were doing. I was selling clothing. I was judging. I went to Hook the week after. There was a few people that actually came up to me and asked me like my thoughts, like, yo, how do you feel about the hate? Or they're more like, so like, can you explain to me why you did this? And they're like, wow, this like helps me out a lot and everything.
Totally.
And I was like, yeah, ask me whenever you want. Like, that's why we're here. But there's one thing out there that was like, oh, 99% of the tricking community hates Adrenaline now. And I was like, pretty sure it's like the opposite, because those same people that I guess started this kind of flare of hate this last time are the same people that did it 3 years ago.
Yeah, 100%. There's always going to be a few in every bunch that are down with the cause, which is all good. But I'm going to put this out there right now. If Adrenaline was failing or if people hated it, your website wouldn't have crashed at your last live stream, right? I heard that you guys had so much traffic from people trying to sign up and watch it that like you almost crashed.
Yeah. So
for those of you out there, if you think nobody is watching and no one supports adrenaline, they literally crash their website because of too much traffic.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah.
Proof's there.
Proof's there.
Yeah.
Proof is there. There's a reason why we keep running bigger events and more things. There's clearly people, like I said, it's self-funded, so it's clearly working. A big thing, that last event was insane. Like, I remember I was outside with, it was Connor, me, and then our website girl, Michelle, and we were all like, what's happening? Why is it? And then, like, we're on the phone with our server. They're like, yeah, you had too many people going on and signing up. It crashed. We're like, well, we got to get it up.
Yeah.
And they're like, in a few hours. I'm like, do you not know what's, like, this is a big event. Come on.
Yeah.
And, Jimmy's like, we just got to run it. We'll put it up in a few hours. And, we ran the event, and all said and done, like, it was kind of like a bad, good problem. What I mean? Like,
it was like a good
bad,
learning problem.
Obviously, like, in the, like, in terms of, like, people coming to the site, we lost people that wanted to tune in
to watch it,
and everything live, because, we realize live is better than anything, especially nowadays. But to have that feeling of people, that many people wanting to watch tricking battles and weapons battles was insane. Like, we actually have a ton of videos where, like, there's watch parties all over the world, like totally. The Super Bowl. Like, what was super crazy for me was, like, my sister sent us a video in her dorm, so, like, not even in her room, but they have, like, the lobby area, and there's, like, TVs. There's, like, 40 people, like, just chilling out, watching the battles.
Totally.
And they, like, watch the reruns of them. There's, like, a bunch of different people that are tagging us on Instagram with, like, 30, 40 people, like, almost throwing, like, a Super Bowl party to watch these battles because they're so involved. And that's what I guess, like, something for us, we realize doing these one-on-ones, from the right people, we realize that this is way more marketable than just bringing in a bunch of guys. Because when like, this person's going against this person, and we can promote that for so long, it lets people start talking about, like, oh, I think this guy's going to win, or I think this guy's going to win. And we kind of found that right idea of how we're going to market our next events and how we're going to run them and everything.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, it was really crazy because we all rewatched it, like, right after the event and everything at the house. And just with my brother, like, unreal job with the lighting. I know on one of the camera angles it looked a little dark, and we fixed that in post and everything. That kind of stuff happens. But between putting together the lighting and the film crew, the graphics, like, it's really cool, like, to see, like, the next generation of, like, a professional side to tricking. Like, again, you were the first person to do it with Trickstar, where, like, like, you had the interviews, you had everything put together, and it was like, whoa, this is, like, legit tricking right here.
It's different.
It's different.
I basically was just jacking the UFC because I'm, like, such a huge MMA fan. I literally was just, like, following the format. That's why we did the blacked out rooms with just the halo lights. I was literally following Ultimate Fighter.
Literally.
That's literally it, yeah.
That's literally it.
Totally.
We watched the UFC. We used what you were doing. We used NBA. I'm a huge NBA fan.
Of course.
A big thing, I think this last event, it let us know that tricking's getting there. It's getting there to where if our audience is mostly non-trickers, and in that room they're screaming and everything when it's that, like, overtime pass between Jose and Aiden Kennedy. And then, like, just overall as a whole, like, now getting that outside view in, there's no reason, and I'm not saying the Olympics is the right spot, but b-boying is probably going to be in the Olympics in 2024. Skateboarding is in it 2020. Like, who would have thought skateboarding 5 years ago was going to be an Olympic sport? And I'm not saying Olympics is where it needs to go, but I think, like, to see how big those sports that were super underground not too long ago, I think tricking's on the same road personally.
Yeah, it's just as long as the community all gets on the same page at the right time and with the right people in charge. Because, that's one thing. Like, I think that what we've always lacked in tricking is a gigantic Tony Hawk spokesperson.
Yeah.
But we've never had that figure. And, like, unfortunately at the time, and I've had this talk with him personally many times, and we're going to have the talk when he comes here, but I've had that talk with Anis about how at one point in time he single-handedly could have taken tricking in the community in a certain direction if he was boisterous enough and wanted to be in that position. Anis never did it for that, though. He never tricked in order for people to listen to him or for people to be like, you're the man. And so, unfortunately, at the time when he was the man, he wasn't ready to sit there and talk to the people, and I feel like we needed that. Parkour, I feel like we've had tons of generations, and Paul, I'm sure, can attest to this. At one point, we had David Bell. He was the face of parkour, real life Spider-Man, doing all the videos on the Dom DeLoc that got famous. And then it went to Sebastian Foucan, who's the guy he's in the James Bond movie that does the famous chase scene in Casino Royale. He was another face. And then I think it switched to, there were other guys who were in documentaries, but then it switched to Daniel Ilabaka. But we always had these fixtures in our sports that were like, hey, who's the current Michael Jordan in parkour? It was Daniel Ilabaka. Yeah. But Daniel Ilabaka was like, very well known. He would go to all the gatherings. He would talk. You would see him on the side giving speeches to 100 little kids in the grass. And I feel like that's the one thing that we have never had in tricking yet. I agree. So do you think that there's someone that's on the forefront of that? Or do you think we're still too early days? Or does Shosei need to learn to speak English? Well... Which you should. Hint, 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 hint.
Shosei. Requirement. Do your homework. Get your English down.
No bullshit, guys. I'm telling you guys this right now to all of you super talented trickers and movement artists out there. You can even ask Pasha the Boss. Pasha the Boss is huge in the parkour freeing world, got over 500,000 followers. He told me the greatest thing that he did was learn English. Wow. Because he can now communicate with people like me. I used to host Red Bulls, couldn't talk to him. Yeah. Now 5 years later, at the last Red Bull comp that happened, he ran up to me because the winner couldn't speak English, and he translated for me live. And I was like, 5 years ago, you couldn't even talk, you know? But it single-handedly has changed his career to now, like, you know, he came out to L.A. a month ago and was doing videos to Logan Paul. And, like, this is because he speaks English. If he couldn't speak English,
you wouldn't get any of this.
You wouldn't talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Shosei,
learn your English.
I know you're good at learning, dog. You must be good at learning. You learn these tricks like crazy. And if you're a legit Japanese person... I know your brain is on point, so let's go with the English.
You know, I think, that whole Japan group between Takahashi brothers and
it's insane.
Zen, they're on a different level.
Yeah,
they're in a different world with what they're doing out there, you know. And I think a big part of it is they trick really seriously.
They treat it like
they treat it like a professional sport, and that's why they 100%. Get good. But in terms of, like, I guess the Michael Jordan of tricking, I don't know who it is right now, you know? It's hard because...
No, but here's the thing. I think we do know who it is.
Yeah, we do know who it is.
Who is the Michael Jordan of tricking right now? There's two names that come to mind for me. It's Guthrie and Shosei.
I agree with you 100% on that. I think... I really do, but I feel like skill-wise, they're both 100. It's between them two. I think Michael... I remember I was like... Was it Steve or was Kyle that you're talking about? Where I was like... The best twister, went away for a year or two, and now he's like one of the best kickers in the game right now.
Totally.
And now, even what I notice when I watch him is his style is insane. Like, he's doing these crazy style moves, and I'm like, dude, I don't know where you're coming up with this stuff. Like,
and it's cool because when he does them, people don't talk trash. But like, if we do it, someone else could do a style move, and they'll be like, "Look at this guy rolling on the ground."
Yeah.
But when Michael does it, it's like, "Look at this dope stuff," because he's the best.
But it's like, you know who has insane styles? Nuri Simon.
Oh yeah,
that guy,
totally.
Crazy because
Nuri tricks.
Yeah, he puts that b-boy in and everything. But in terms of, I think it's one of them too for sure. But I definitely think in terms of being a voice in tricking, I think there's other guys that could be that. Like, I think someone who I think is an insanely good role model for tricking as a whole is Danny Etkin. And
I agree.
I know right now he's in school, and I know he just got injured, unfortunately. Hoping it's nothing serious. I know he's getting his MRI pretty soon, but...
Yeah, shout out to you, Danny. We hope you're healing up, bro.
Yeah, much love, bro. Yeah. But he is such, like, a very... I'm homies with him. Like, I've known him now for, like... We used to compete against each other and everything, so I've known him forever, but he's so, like, in and focused and understands everything. He understands that we have to prep the next, like, generation of trickers. Like, we got to prep them... for those that want it, like the shows is and everything, we have to have something there for them. Because, like, you know, again, like back in the day, it was more what you were offering. And now I'm hoping Adrenaline's like kind of that next step and everything.
Yeah, totally.
And we got to have something for them. And I think Danny is such like, he just understands it really well. I think he could be somebody, or even like Will Coney's. Okay. Like, again, skill level, they're both insane, but I know they're not on the same level yet as Michael and Shosei. I think Danny has a lot of potential because when he trains good. Like, totally. He starts just leveling up like crazy. But I definitely agree. I don't know who it is, but I definitely think there needs to be someone.
I'm telling you, this is something that I've thought about for years, and it's literally why I think our sport has not gone to the next level. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've had this internal discussion with myself, literally thinking, like, what is it that's preventing us to get to the next sport? Because we're featured in popular media. we're in just as many music videos and movies as is parkour, right? We do very similar things. They're starting to emerge. There's tricking clubs that are emerging at colleges, you know. Shout out to the cat tricking team, you know, down in Southern California.
Yeah.
So like it's obviously catching on, but yeah, I've always thought like, what is the one thing that our sport doesn't have? We don't have a face, and unfortunately, right now. Yeah. There are guys that have huge followings. Alternatively, like for example, Bailey Payne probably has the biggest following as a tricker, maybe besides Dominic Lewis, Domitrick. You know what I'm saying? But both of those guys right now, I haven't had a discussion with them in a while. Shout out to you guys. I love you all. We talk online all the time. But I don't think that they're personally in the space where they want to be the Godfather tricking. They don't want to be sitting there talking.
Focused on their content right now, making on Instagram.
They're just having fun doing creative content, you know. And it's like Bailey still trains hard and still kills it, but like you even see in his clips. Like I haven't featured him on a Jam Breakdown clip of the week recently, not because he's not one of the best in the world, but because the stuff he's putting out right now is catered more towards his everyday fans on Instagram. They get impressed with him just doing a wall flip. You know, or like hanging out with a hot girl and doing a back handspring. So like it's awesome. He's growing his platform and gaining more viewers, but at the same time, like he's kind of getting a little further away from the actual community at the same time.
Yeah, and I understand why and everything because
me too.
On his end, like
keep doing your shit, Bailey. We're not bashing.
Exactly.
Keep doing your shit.
Yeah, you're killing it, man. And you know all of those guys out there. I think it's just someone has to just do it, like you said, and
they have to be good enough that people listen.
Yeah, they have to be good enough for people to listen. They have to have a solid voice. And I think a main thing as well, I think there needs to be, in the sport aspect, a Conor McGregor of tricking. I think that's what's missing too because from an outside fan's perspective, people love to watch at our events Will Coney's, Takahashi Brothers, and Pinto.
I was going to say, people probably watch Pinto just to see him lose.
Yeah. No, I think this
people
last
don't watch
event,
him.
I think this last event, he was probably one of the top guys like that was drawing people to watch on the site.
Totally.
Just because he hasn't battled in 2 years. Him and Danny, the powerhouse Americans going against the undefeated Takahashi Brothers, it was super good to sell. But somebody out there that like when it comes to battling that like just like knows they're gonna win and wins.
Totally.
And Jacob, it may be him, it may be Alexander Anderson, it may be somebody, I don't know, Jose, for all I know, if he learns English, like you said.
Exactly.
But I think that, and then I think, like you said, like the Michael Jordan, even Michael Jordan, though, when he played, like, people liked watching him because he talked, you know?
Yeah,
he talked, he voiced his opinion, and he wasn't, like, cocky, where it was like, okay, this guy's just cocky because he's not backing up. He backed it up.
Yeah, 100%.
He didn't lose. He didn't lose anything, and kind of the same thing with, like one of those trickers, like just somebody to come in and kind of be the face of it, like you said, the Tony Hawk, I think is definitely needed. And that's one thing on our end, we're trying to kind of work in and see like, who can that be? You know what I mean? Who can be that person that not only just for adrenaline, like, for adrenaline, but in terms of tricking as a whole, the sport that can really start laying in on like, okay, let's make this thing real.
Who's willing to take that next step and really try to push? No, totally. So what do you guys have on your plate for adrenaline in the coming year, 2019? Are you guys still sticking with gatherings, or are you just going to focus on Adrenaline's website? What's the focus for you guys this year?
So we got a lot of new websites updates coming all the way up to the summertime, so stay tuned, everybody. In terms of one thing we got into a lot is online competitions. We did that Trickmaster series that went insane. We had a lot of people sign up, and not sign up. It's free to
enter.
Yeah, it's free to enter
contest,
actually. We don't charge a registration fee, nothing. It's free to enter. You can post your stuff in. And we're running another one until April 12th is when it ends. It's called Best Trick Combo.
Okay.
And what it is, people are going to send their combos. And then on our end, we're going to edit this like banger sampler of it. And it'll be on the website. We're doing like a Weapons Master series where it's like, same thing with tricking with weapons. So we're trying to do a lot of online competitions because we do prize money. And then like for the bigger ones, we do like t-shirts for the top 40 and stuff like that.
So you said you have a current competition running right now. It ends April 12th. And how can people enter?
You head to the website. There's going to be a section under online competitions. Go to Best Trick Combo and you can just submit. It's a raw clip. You don't need music, editing, nothing. We're going to handle that on our end. Just a banger clip of your best combo.
And what are they competing for? What are the prizes you guys are giving away?
Yeah, so first place for this one, literally first place for one pass is $500.
Nice.
Second place is $250. Third place is $150, and then fourth and fifth is $100.
It's awesome, man. So you could literally just do a combo and win $500.
Literally get paid to do a trick combo.
And do you have to be a member of the site in order to enter?
No.
Okay.
Free to sign up.
So no excuses. There's literally no excuses. You don't have to be a member to sign up. You can just go over there and have the chance to win $500 from doing a combo.
Yeah, exactly. And that's all of our competitions this year. You don't have to be a member or anything to sign up, because we want people to like get involved, compete and everything. And hopefully, they see their content, and their content gets published on the website and everything, which is really cool because it's like you're being featured on Adrenaline Worldwide TV and everything. But between that, we're doing a lot of outside events. Like we're going back on the U.S. Open which is a really good marketing platform for us.
Yeah, just to get to
ESPN
the public eyes
and everything.
Yeah,
exactly. And this year, I think we're going to be bringing international guys. We're working on getting Alexander out there and everything to battle on stage. And then we're doing some events, just like camps and everything. Like we're running an event in China in May. We're bringing like a couple of our pros out there with Boy Yang.
Cool.
Craziest gym I've seen. Like, I think between Jam and his gym, I think like it's like the Jam of
but in China. Yeah, but they have so many more people in China. Like I heard this thing's like multiple stories.
Yeah, it's like a 6-story. But like to me, it's
crazy.
Like I guess how like everyone, like when they come to like every person that comes to Adrenaline, it's like, yo, I'm at Adrenaline, and then it's like a couple of days like, all right, can we go to Jam?
Yeah.
Like Maguire, can you drive me to Jam? I'm like, yeah, I'll get in the car for 5 hours. We're going to a session. But it's like that legendary hub, you know what I mean? Like everyone wants to go there.
Thank you.
And that's how it is in like China too.
China.
So it's
his is the spot. What's his place called?
Hurricane Gym.
Hurricane Gym.
We're going to be out there in May, actually. A few of us running a big camp because Adrenaline's bringing XMA into his program. He's the first ever XMA program in China because XMA is not big there.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, not yet, exactly. So we're bringing it over. But our next big event is going to take place in September.
Okay, cool. Is this going to be a gathering or is this a battle competition?
This is going to be a pure battle event. We do want to still run gatherings. A big thing we want to get involved. We want to collaborate and help even sponsor some gatherings. Like maybe we'll bring a few of our pros to an event and help contribute in that way. But in terms of running the big gathering this summer and everything, we're going to split them in half because it's going to work easier because it was pretty crazy having the camp, the gathering, the battles.
You guys are insane. I was always there like, what in the hell are they thinking, yo? I haven't held a gathering in years because I know how stressful it is. Y'all were doing 2 at once. I was like, they're nuts. And you were trying to do a live stream. I was like,
it was too much. And, this last event, it was actually crazy because my dad and I remember we were talking and we're like, man, what are we missing? Like, we're missing something. And because it felt so much more calm and relaxed. There's like 20 guys to take care of. But in September, we're going to put some very heated battles together.
Okay, cool. And are people able to attend these live, or is it one of those where you can just watch it live online on the website?
You can watch it live online, but this venue, it's going to be the first time we're going to step away from the Adrenaline headquarters, we're going to be in a much bigger venue for a bigger live audience this time.
Nice, okay.
So it's going to take place. We'll make sure we'll get you out and everything for
that.
Yeah.
I mean, as that it gets a lot closer, maybe we'll have you on again. We could talk about that and hype it up and promote it. But no, that's really cool. And I think it's smart, like you said, to just focus on what you guys are really want to focus on, which is building the website and building the brand. Let other trickers and cities hold gatherings, and it'll still fill the void for all the trickers, and you can just be a part of it.
Yeah, exactly. With the pros and everything, that's like what's super nice about it because, they're going and they're representing Adrenaline at these events and everything. So, we're kind of always, even if we're not running the big, giant gathering, let's say this summer, we still have our guys going and representing and everything along the lines of that. And we're getting the guys to a lot of different events as well. Yeah,
totally. And like I said, man, I think it's not a bad thing that you're not running an event the same weekend as another event this year. It'll probably give a lot of heat off your back. You know what I'm saying? You heard it here first, guys. Like, there's no controversy, no event on the same weekend, you guys. So no complaints. And as you guys have seen, man, the reason why I wanted to bring you on here was just because there was a lot of things I knew I wanted to clear the air about publicly with you, and some things that I just didn't know myself. Like, for example, I didn't know about the competition right now that you enter for free and win money. Like, these are all great things that I think you're doing for the community, which people need to, instead of ostracize and put you down about, they need to think like, wow, like this is a cool opportunity. They're giving money away for something that I would have done normally, just going to my gym and training.
Yeah, so exactly. It's pretty much you're taking that one Instagram clip you might post, and you can still post on Instagram. You can
still post it,
But if you want to instead try to win money with it, you just send it over to Adrenaline, and you got a chance, We'll get that going. And I'm excited for 2019. We got a lot planned out and everything, and we got all the way up to 2020, even in 2020 planned out and everything. Awesome. The next steps, what we want to take with the website, the battles, and just how we want to make Tricking grow, because I personally think the sport is so endless of how big it potentially can get. You know, it actually has a bigger market than MMA.
It really could. It potentially could.
It potentially could. Because, you know, UFC is not really so set out for the younger kids and everything.
Yeah, it's not set out for kids at all.
And I know maybe tricking gatherings aren't all the time, but for the main part of it, tricking is. Like, the actual sport itself can be for kids and everything like that.
I mean, Shosei's proven it's a young man's sport.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah,
exactly. And the more I think there is something set up for that top level, I think the more younger kids you're going to see get involved in it because, you know, I hear so many times people talk about, oh, my parents didn't want me to do, like, I have to stop tricking. I'm going to do a different sport. Or even like in karate, sometimes like, oh, I'm going to play basketball now because my dad wants me to.
Yeah.
And it's because like, you don't really see like the end game with tricking. It's kind of like, okay, you get good at it. That's about it at the moment. But once there's like that established, like you can be a tricker, like a pro tricker. You can make money doing it and everything. You're going to see younger kids get more involved quicker. And then the whole level, like shows, is just going to keep going up.
Yeah, man.
Before you know it, like quad cork's just going to be like the next triple cork.
Standard. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's awesome, man. No, I really, like I said, I appreciate everything you're doing for the community. I know that a lot of times these efforts go unnoticed and unlooked, and people don't realize the amount of money you're pumping into it. From someone that owns a gym himself, I understand the costs are incurred, especially when you're flying people in. So, yeah man, just know that there are a lot of people out there supporting you like myself, 100%. And we support the brand, and more importantly, I support tricking. So anything that can help boost tricking in a positive light, whether it's a clothing company, whether it's, you know, Adrenaline, whether it's Kojo's Trick Lab, I'm down for it. You know, let's continue to build the sport. Let's grow it up. Let's make money for each other. Let's, instead of spending money on Starbucks, let's spend our money supporting trickers. You know what I'm saying? If you can spend $5 on a cup of coffee, you can spend $5, you know, that's half of a month's subscription on Adrenaline.
Exactly.
You know?
And, you know, I'll bring it up, but you, Dan, and Caitlin, honestly, since the very beginning, you three have like been huge inspirations. Just everything you've done and everything you guys have taught me just along the way. Like even just talking, I remember plenty of times I've texted you like when something happens or a question like, "Yo, man, can you help me out here?" and everything, or you got any advice for me? And you know, everything you guys take, we take in 100%, and obviously it's paid off because, you know, we wouldn't be where we are, like with Adrenaline and everything, without you guys helping us along the way as well. So
I appreciate that, man. No, thanks for coming by, and thanks for sharing some insight. I hope everyone out there was able to learn about some things that they may not have known about Adrenaline, and just give it a chance, guys. Go over to the website, check it out, maybe enter a contest for free, you know. Like you said, I think the contest ends April 12th. Yeah. So, yeah, if you guys are interested, maybe that's a good way to get you over to the site just to kind of click around and see what's over there. Yeah. And who knows, if you win $500, you have no excuse not to sign up.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of free content, too, on the site, too, which is nice. So you can go on, check out free content on the website, whatever you want to do.
Okay, cool. Well, really quick, man, before we get out of here, where can people go to follow your personal accounts? What are your personal social media accounts?
Yeah, so you guys can follow me on Instagram, Maguire Kane, and Facebook, Maguire Kane. Everything's Maguire Kane, so Maguire.
And then what about Adrenaline itself? How can they visit that Instagram and website?
Yeah, so just on Instagram, adrenalineworldwide.com, or not .com. Oh my god.
At Adrenaline Worldwide.
Yeah, Adrenaline Worldwide, and then same thing for Facebook. So yeah.
Cool. And then the website one more time.
adrenalineworldwide.com.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks a lot, Maguire. I really appreciate you coming by and spending some time with us, and sending you positive wishes for the wrist as well as the rest of 2019 in Adrenaline. So
awesome, man. I appreciate it. Thank you again for everything, and I can't wait to be back on.
Yeah, for sure, man. We'll call you back on a little bit later on in the year as we get closer to the September event.
Perfect.
So thanks for everyone out there. I really appreciate you guys joining us here on another JAMCast. We've been flying through these things and getting a great and incredible response. So if you guys want to see someone on this show, feel free to leave a message in the comments or send us something in our inbox. And be sure to subscribe because we have a lot of endless content coming your way. Every Monday, join us for a jam breakdown where we'll look at the top clips in parkour, freerunning, and breakdancing from around the world. And then join us every Friday for a brand new JAMCast, interviewing influential figures in the movement world, just like Mr. Maguire Kane himself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. On behalf of the JAMCast, shout out to Paul Whitecotton for killing it behind the cameras as always. A very special thanks to our guest of the week, Mr. Maguire Kane of Adrenaline Worldwide. Thanks, go check out the website. And on behalf of myself, I'm your host, Travis Wong. Be sure to check out Jam. We just dropped $30K worth of new gear. And until the next time, we will see you guys soon.
Yeah.
Peace.